Hi, my name is Romi Grossberg and I'm a social worker and author. I work as a holistic counsellor specialising in mental health. Now, given what's going on in the world right now with coronavirus, I've been asked by the community that I live in or by people from the community if I could do a talk about what's going on from an emotional perspective. So looking at our emotional health and our mental health and what we can actually do to keep calm. There's obviously a lot of frustration, people have different thoughts, people are acting different ways, but we really need to come together as a community so that we can actually combat this together and be there for each other. So worldwide virus, and I'm not going to talk about the virus, only the emotional aspect, is also worldwide stress and worldwide anxiety. And it is contagious, stress and anxiety, the way you see panic shopping, the panic kind of that we go from one person to the next, one person's calm and they meet a panicked person, all of a sudden we all start talking very fast, which reminds me I need to get myself slow. So worldwide stress and worldwide panic and worldwide anxiety, if one of us can calm down, we can also make that contagious and then the next person can calm down. So this is really what can we do about stress and anxiety and actually what is it, what's going on in our minds. The first thing I want to say is I wrote a post the other day saying the penny will drop. So the penny will drop for different people at different times, which means we're all on a different path of understanding and accepting what's going on. I mean, nothing like this in the world has ever happened. So this is beyond our comprehension. Some people are going full hard of don't touch me, stay away, self-isolation, completely self-sufficient. Some people are still out in community. So it's a matter of just respecting each other, not a matter of you have to do this, you have to do this. And I'm not saying accept or condone other people's if they're doing behaviour that's dangerous, but it's about talking to each other and actually accepting that people are all stressed. We are all experiencing a level of stress. We all cope differently with stress. Same like grief, shock. There's no right way to handle these things, okay? So it's a matter of accepting, okay, maybe someone's doing behaviour that you're not doing and you look at them rather than go and yell at them or be upset or talk about them, but about thinking they're at a different stage of acceptance. They're still maybe processing. Maybe they're in denial. Denial is another stage of grief. They're all different stages that we go through, and it's about being really mindful of each other, being accepting of each other. We don't have to accept the behaviour, but there are ways we can talk to each other that are not feeling attacking, not feeling aggressive, not feeling sort of, anxious and fearful. So really just recognising that we'll all get there in the end, but people are at different stages. So your friend or your colleague or the person down the road may not be at the same stage as you, okay? I think that's a really important thing to understand, that people will get there at different times. What I wanted to bring up is things you can control versus things you can't control. Okay? This is something that I've been teaching teenagers for many years and teaching adults, things we can control versus things we can't control. Okay? I know it sounds all obvious and you probably know everything I'm going to say, but it's good when we're stressed to stop and listen to it again. We can't control the virus. Okay? We can't control what's going to happen. We can't predict. We don't know. It's changing minute by minute, and that's stressful for everyone. We cannot control these things. We cannot control how other people are talking. We can control ourselves. We can control how we act, how we behave, how we react, how we respond. We are in control of ourselves, of our mental health, our emotional health. All of these things are in our control, and that's really important. It's important to know that every time there is an interaction, you are in control of how you act and behave and how you speak to others. And I think it's important that we recognise there are things we can't control and there are things we can control. So somebody might come and yell at me about something, they're feeling really stressed and it gets a bit out of control. I can still control the way I behave back. I can calm the situation or I can escalate the situation. So it's a good thing to just recognise that there is a difference in what we can and can't control. Which leads us into the way we communicate, okay? Whether it's in person or in social media, we don't hear the message when we're feeling attacked. And I know nobody is out there trying to attack. Of course we're not. We're all trying to just cope and understand what the hell's going on in the world at the moment. But when we're feeling stressed, when we're feeling anxious, when we're feeling frustrated, agitated, angry, the tone of our voice changes and we come out sounding attacked. The person is then, on the receiving end, going to feel defensive. The problem with this is that when someone is feeling attacked, they don't hear the message. I've seen it happen a lot in the last sort of week or so, where the message is solid. What people are saying is very valid. They've got really good points, but they're so worked up that it feels so attacking that the message gets lost. So you're not actually getting your opinion heard, you're not getting your voice heard, because people are just sort of like, oh my God, what just happened? So if you want your voice to be heard, calming down, taking a breath, and saying it in a reasonable tone, if you need to step back and go away for a minute and come back when you're more calm, then you actually get your voice heard. Because we all have valid opinions and points to make, but it's in the way it's delivered. Our tone of voice changes absolutely everything. You know, I do this with 12-year-olds in schools. The way we speak, the tone, the timbre of our voice, the emotional quality in which we deliver something is everything. Okay, so really check the tone that you're speaking in so that we can actually be heard and listen. Same on social media. Okay, I know that sounds a bit nuts, there's a tone of voice in social media, but there absolutely is. How many times have you read a post and just gone, oh my God, what's going on? They've gone mad. I feel attacked. So there is a tone of voice when you're typing in social media also. And it's important to check that tone, okay? So just like people used to say years and years ago, never respond to an email or never react to an email straight away. Make a draft, walk away, come back, most likely edit it, and then send that. Okay, so it's the difference between reacting and responding. So we don't want to be reacting, we want to be responding. Reaction is quick, you know, usually the thing we regret. Responding is take a moment, take a breath, think about it and go, actually, this is what I want to say. Okay, so reacting and responding, looking at the way we communicate, social media, and if we're talking to a person. Language also, obviously we're talking tone of voice, we're talking communication, we're talking language. I won't go into a whole spiel about language because that could go for another hour, but language, one word that I've really noticed that's been popping up a lot is the word should. Okay, we say, you know, you should, I should, they should. Should actually has a negative connotation to it. It's a very pressurized word. It creates a lot of guilt. So you should be practicing, you know, good behavior, or you should be 2 meters away. Maybe they should, but that's not going to get your message heard, because should comes again with that kind of almost a negative energy and a tone that says you're in trouble or you've done something wrong or I'm criticizing you. And again, I know it's not your intention. It's none of our intentions, but that's how it's heard. It's always good to remember what we say and what is being heard can often have nothing to do with each other. It's a good little thing to remember that sometimes we think we're saying this, but they're hearing that. So should is just one of those pressure words. You could take a step back rather than you should take a step back. You could is option, opportunity, oh yes I can, sorry, thank you. So just that one word can really switch things up in the way that you're being heard. So some of this is really just about language, communication and all of that. Now I want to move on to anxiety, because there's a lot of anxiety going on in the world, and like I said, it really is contagious. And it's not just here in my community. I would say it's, you know, by far across the world right now. We are experiencing unprecedented levels of stress worldwide. I mean, we're all in this together. It's an insane concept. But I want to explain anxiety. I'd like to first just really simply explain what it is, and then a 3-step process that you can do wherever you are in like that, okay? Everything I do is very much what can I do about it rather than in theory, okay? So anxiety. Anxiety, put really, really simply, is when your mind runs ahead too fast and goes into what we consider the worst case scenario. Okay, so rather than being your normal, reasonable, logical, rational self, your mind runs away too quickly into worst case scenario. The issue is we decide that's true. Okay, so the reality is this coronavirus is a scary thing. The reality is, yes, anybody could get it. The anxiety thought is, oh my God, what if I get it, I've got it, and then I see my friend and my friend sees their grandmother and their grandmother dies and it's all my fault. That's an anxiety thought. It's running ahead of yourself and deciding that's true and then freaking out over it. When we get to that point where we decide it's true, that's when we get like short of breath. We get that knot down in, you know, in our solar plexus. We can feel nauseous. We can feel a dry throat. We can feel all sorts of symptoms of anxiety. So when that happens, what we need to do is come back to ourselves. So that's put really, really simple. Anxiety, mind ran ahead into a place that's not realistic, and you've decided that's the truth, okay? So what can we do? 3-step process, super duper simple. First step is not breath. I know a lot of people think take a breath. First step, grounding, okay? Your mind has almost done like an out-of-body experience. Your mind is here, your body is here, okay? So your mind's out there, your body's still with you. What you want is grounding. So you literally want to come back to yourself, which means if you can, you literally touch the ground, hit the ground. If you can't hit the ground, grab your body, but grab it hard so that you're coming back to your body. You can acknowledge your feet. My feet are here, my feet are on the ground, and say that to yourself till you feel it. Whilst you're touching the ground and touching your arms or your legs and acknowledging your body, I want you to name 3 to 4 things that you can see in front of you, out loud, okay? So I'm grabbing my body or I'm touching the ground and I look around and I say, I see a coconut, I see a tree, I see a building. I see a coconut, I see a tree, I see a building. Why I'm doing that is because if my mind is here, if my mind is present, my body is grounded, I'm naming things that I physically see in this reality, my mind is no longer out there in la la land where it's not part of what's going on. Okay, so that's grounding, it brings you back immediately. Okay, so that's step 1, really easy. Step 2, now you can breathe. Now that you're back in your body, you can breathe. You don't want to try and get someone to breathe as step 1 because they're not back. They're still out there. So come back first, then practice your breathing, as many breaths as you need to get your breathing back under control. Step 3 is kind of what I call a reality check. Ask yourself the question, what are the facts? What do I know to be true? Okay, what are the facts? What do I know to be true? Not thoughts. Okay, not stresses, not fears, not anxiety thoughts, facts. So right now with what's going on in the world, what are the facts? We don't know a lot. We know we're reading lots of different articles from different places. We know that the virus exists. We know it exists in all or most countries. Is it within my 5-meter radius? I don't know. What's my fear? My fear is it will come to this area. But will it? I don't know. The rest are fears, okay? Sure, be safe, do the right thing, practice good practice, but the anxiety does not help, okay? So bring yourself back with grounding, name what you see. Now you can take a breath and then do a fact check. What is true? That alone can normally calm people down pretty quick because they realize that a lot of it was just thoughts and they got carried away, and actually when they look at the facts are a bit more something that they can handle and they can deal with and they can be careful without getting carried away. So that's the 3-step process for anxiety. So hopefully that's a good little tip for you yourself or to share with your family and friends to help calm you down, okay? And moving toward the end, it's about staying calm, okay? So that's to bring you back to calm, but how do we stay calm? I mean, we still need to function in the world. We need to do our breathing. We need to do our meditation, whether you're a meditator or you've never meditated, okay? Don't let the word meditation scare you if you haven't done it. There's a million videos out there that you can try. But even 3 deep breaths in the morning, 3 deep breaths in the evening, that alone will calm, okay? Exercise. I know you can't go to the gym. I know you might not be able to run around the block. There are ways. For me, I have a skipping rope, a jump rope. I need 1 meter radius and that's all I need. Draw, play games, do online courses. All the things that you always meant to do, go and do them. Join an online forum. Spring cleaning. I did some great spring cleaning yesterday. Tea tree oil all over my tabletops, it's gorgeous. Do the things that you meant to do and didn't have time. You know, practice yoga, whatever it is. Do a dance class. There's dance classes online. There are lots and lots of things. I don't know who's watching this, but for a lot of people, including myself, I grew up before the internet. It didn't exist. We don't need the internet to survive this, okay? We have each other. We have online stuff. We have courses. We have games. We have things we can do at home. Take some time to reflect. Journal. Sit and journal how you're feeling, whether it's about this or something else. Paint a picture. loads and loads of things that we can actually do. And you can post it on social media and share it with your friends if you want to. We're not isolated completely. We still do have each other, okay? Take breaks from social media. I must say for myself personally, the biggest stress of this whole thing has been social media. I put my phone on silent about 3 or 4 times a day because the incessant beeping is completely doing my head in. Take breaks. Take breaks from talking about this virus. Just say simply, I really don't want to talk about it for a little while, or I'm taking a break for an hour, whatever it is, or let's have a lunch-free zone of talking, just whether it's on social media, whether it's on the phone, whether it's in person, take a break from talking about it, okay? The main thing really is our immune system is compromised by stress, by lack of sleep. Okay, so this talk that I'm doing today really is about communication, about stress, and about anxiety. And until we get these things under control, we are affecting our immune system. And all the talk that's being said so far is keep your immune system strong. Okay, so try and get back some sort of normality or normalcy into your life so that you can keep your immune system strong. Immune system, healthy physical life, healthy mental life, healthy emotional life, and that will hopefully help you just stay calm about it all. And the last thing that I've written down here is check in on each other. Doesn't have to be physical. A phone call, a text, a Facebook, an Instagram, whatever it is, check on each other. Make sure that we all know that each other are okay. It's really important just to receive that one message that says, hey, I'm thinking of you. Hey, I hope you're okay. Hey, I'm here if you need me. Let each other know that we are there for each other. So that was a lot of information done very, very quickly. Hopefully that helped. Hopefully that's what you were looking for when you asked me to do the radio program and the live video. Hopefully you got some information out of that you needed, helping dealing with stress, anxiety and communication. If you're still struggling, please just let me know. You'll have my details in there, Romi Grossberg, but let me know and I'll see if I can help you one-on-one. Thank you very much.